Welcome back. We're looking at sequence starters. We are on to our third one now. We've looked at two so far. The third one reads, when the start button is pressed, motor K rotates immediately. Okay, that is the same as the first one, the last one. After 10 seconds, press the same start button and motor M starts. After a further 10 seconds, both motors stop. A stop button, emergency stop, or overload should cut the circuit immediately. Again, they didn't say how the overloads are supposed to operate individually or together. What I'll then do is I'll say I'll do a scenario where any overload cuts the entire circuit. All right, any overload. I will not accept a scenario with one overload. Okay, any overload cuts the what call this both circuits. All right. So now I'll call up my software, WPLSoft, and then we will do this one. It's not so difficult. Oh, this is the previous one. So basically nothing changes up to here. So what I'll do is I'll open a new one because many people are just joining us today. Let's just start and then say this is sequence starters. We are using the SST and we are looking at is the Delta PLC WPLSoft sequence 3. All right, then we'll say, let's read it again. Please take note or write it down. I'll read it slowly. When the start button is pressed, motor K rotates immediately. After 10 seconds, if you press the same start button, now this thing is there to go into adverse now. Okay, but after 10 seconds, a second motor should start. Okay, and then after a further 10 seconds, both motors should stop. And then you have your overload, you have your two overloads, your emergency stop, and your stop disrupting the whole circuit. All right, what I'll then do is I'll then say emergency stop, normally closed. That will be X0 is fine. We'll call it the emergency stop 1. Or rather, let me rather start with, we only have one emergency stop. Emergency stop. Okay. Then we have another normally closed, which is X1, and we call that the stop. X1 the stop. Okay. Then we have overload 1, again another normally closed. X2, which is the overload 1. We have X3, which is overload 2. Now I'm dealing with that, with a scenario where any overload will cut the whole circuit. Okay, so this will be normally closed. That's X3. Okay, and that is the second overload for the other motor. Okay, overload 2, and then now we can start our motor. So it's normally open. Normally open is X4. This is our start, and then once we start, we are going to start the first motor. That will be output. We can use F7. Output Y0, which is motor K, if I remember correctly. I think it was called K. Why is this decided to close, motor K. Okay, I don't know why it's okay. I should have used the pictures rather, because now it's gonna keep giving me, throwing in adverts there. All right, now that is motor K, and then when this motor is running, it will say 10 seconds later. So I'm gonna drop this down and put a timer for 10 seconds. Okay, 100 by now, we know this. All right, and then 10 seconds later, hitting the same start button, we'll start the second motor. So what we'll do is we'll go down. Remember, we have to latch. So what we're going to do is normally open, which is Y0, is latching itself, and then after this, now what we then have is, after 10 seconds, we want to be able to start. So this is going to be enabled after 10 seconds. T0 is going to be enabled after 10 seconds. T0 is going to be enabled after 10 seconds so that we can hit the same start. So this is 10 seconds. So after 10 seconds, this will energize, allowing us to hit the same start. There, X4, okay, and then this will allow us to, let's read it again. Motor K rotates immediately. After 10 seconds, press the same start button and motor M starts. Okay, press the same start button and then the motor M starts. So what we'll do here is we'll have an output we'll call Y1, and R1 is motor M, and then so motor M starts now. Obviously, does it say anything? After 10 seconds, both motors stop. So that one is still running. So this one is still energized. So we don't need to latch this. The start, however, will need to be latched. So we can latch both or we can latch one. It does not really matter, but I would prefer to latch that one. After 10 seconds, then this will be what? A normally open Y1. And this will latch, keep this on. That's F9, okay? All right, now this will start a second motor for the other 10 seconds. Let's say function F9 is much easier than this whole. Yeah, now then I'll say my second timer for 10 seconds, TMR, but this will be T1 because we use T0, and it's K, another 10 seconds is 100. Now that is going to come and stop both, meaning it comes there. It's a closed one that will break after it counts out. So it's T1. It will break that line. It's a 10-second delay as well. Let's indicate that. Okay. And then it will come and break this line as well. Alright. So now you can see that when it's done counting out, it will break both lines. Alright. Stopping the sequence. So let's see if it works. It obviously works. Let's just confirm it. We'll come and say load it. Ignore these error messages for now. Okay. Now let's press start. Set on. As you can see. Oh, did I run? I did not run. It's on stop mode. That's why it's not responding. So stop mode. So let's put it on run. Yes. Then it's on run mode. Now I can start. As you can see, this goes on immediately. 10 seconds later, this is counting. 10 seconds later, it won't think, it will just energize here. So I'm able to start here. So now it's energized here. I can close this one, and then this one can start, and then set off. Okay, and then as you can see, That's counting out. After that, they pause stop. It works perfect. So you can see it's obvious. Breaking any of these lines here, by now you understand this. Breaking any of these here, whether it's an overload, the first overload, or the second overload, or whether I stop it, or the emergency stop, any one of those, you can see by now it should break that sequence. Alright, so this is, let me demonstrate one thing. Before 10 seconds, realize how I cannot start this other one. I cannot start this other one. Only after 10 seconds can I start it. Okay, so that is what, okay, I was switching there by the time. Alright, so after 10 seconds I can start it, but then after a further 10 seconds they both stop. So this is our sequence 3. I hope it was nice. If it was nice, show us you liked it with the like button, and then by hitting the like there, and then also on the comment section tell us where you are. And please, if you're not part of the family yet, join us by subscribing. Till we meet again, I hope that was fun. Thanks for being here.